Now at 5, why a local flight paramedic will be recognized in Washington, D.C. Plus, Joplin's Wildcat Glades gets a makeover with the help of a team of volunteers. And
President Biden addresses the nation about the election. I'm Natalie Brand at the White House with how he and President-elect Donald Trump are preparing for the transition.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A flight paramedic from Chanute, Kansas will be recognized at a ceremony in Washington, D.C. for going above and beyond in his efforts to save lives. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Josh Cavanis was on his day off when he noticed a broken down ambulance with a critical patient in it. That's when he stopped, jumped in to help with a blood transfusion, and dispatched a helicopter to transport the patient to Tulsa. For his display of dedication to helping others, he's going to be recognized at the annual Stars of Life Awards ceremony. The Eagle Med director remembers how selfless Cavanis was in that moment.
Able to change a difference in somebody's life, and that's what it's about. Josh was off duty that day. He just happened to be driving at the right place at the right time.
Stars of Life ceremony is going to recognize people in various fields of EMS. Cavanis hopes the ceremony brings awareness to the field and inspires young people to consider EMS as a career path. The Wildcat Village at Wildcat Glades in Joplin got a makeover today with the help from some volunteers. The Joplin Lowe's store came out to this site as part of the Lowe's Hometown Heroes project. It's a yearly tradition where the store partners with a nonprofit to work on a project together. This year, the Lowe's team joined with Wildcat Glades Nature Group volunteers to help build picnic tables, raise flower beds, and redo their screened-in porch area. Project coordinator says they couldn't think of a more deserving organization.
It's great because they just need a lot of help, and unfortunately the parks see a lot of extra wear and tear with a lot of extra people, so we're down here just making sure everything looks nice, everything's fixed up, so it just feels really great to give back.
The Lowe's team also donated an estimated $3,000 in materials, which will be used for an additional storage shed. Sam's Club in Joplin got into the spirit of giving today. The wholesale retailer presented a check for a whopping $70,000 to Freeman Health System officials on behalf of the Children's Miracle Network. The donation underscores the community partnership between Sam's Club and the CMN.
When we got involved with this is my 9th year here. When we got involved with this, it's more about what can you do in the community. You don't have to let it get personal before you make it personal. So we decide what the kids need, and we go after that. Maybe a piece of equipment or anything like that that they need a large funds for. That's what we set our goal for.
Freeman Health System is the local representative hospital for the CMN and is in fact the only Children's Miracle Network hospital in a 70-mile radius. Nice day to be outside. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it actually turned out to be a great Thursday for us today. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures right about where they should be for the first week of November. We're sitting at 59 in Joplin, 58 in Pittsburgh. We are going to get some clouds increasing tonight, but as of right now, we look good. Mid to upper 50s. Then you have lower 60s once you get into Oklahoma and also southeastern Kansas. Through the evening, clouds thicken, temperatures chilly. That's not bad. We drop back into the upper 40s later on tonight. You can see those clouds starting to thicken up out to our west. Look at the rain, look at the snow. This system is going to be heading toward us as we go through the next couple days. Rain will start to increase, especially tomorrow afternoon and evening across the region. We're going to talk about this here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. President Joe Biden and President-elect Donald Trump will soon be meeting at the White House to discuss the handover from one administration to the next. Natalie Brand has more details.
President Biden, surrounded by staffers and cabinet members, reflected on Tuesday's election and said his administration will ensure a peaceful transfer of power.
We accept the choice the country made. I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win.
The president says he called President-elect Trump to congratulate him and addressed voters on both sides of the polarizing election season.
Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature.
President Biden has invited President-elect Trump to the White House for a meeting about the upcoming transition, a process that the Trump team has already started from West Palm Beach. Former WWE CEO Linda McMahon is leading the team. She ran the Small Business Administration during Trump's first term. The transition team also includes Trump's two older sons and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. In Washington, the president-elect will be bolstered by a Republican-controlled Senate and possibly a GOP House, too, with races still being decided.
It gives us I think President Trump and Republicans in Congress, and hopefully we get not only the Senate but the House, a mandate to do some really good things for this country. As
Trump prepares for a second administration, CBS News has learned the Department of Justice and Special Counsel Jack Smith's office are discussing how to wind down the federal cases against him. The DOJ has a long-standing policy against prosecuting a sitting president. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
CBS News has also learned that Special Counsel Jack Smith plans to submit a final report to the Attorney General as required by Special Counsel rules. However, it is not expected to include any new details not already laid out in indictments and other legal filings. Still ahead, the future cost of borrowing.
Interest rates are coming down, but future rates may be in jeopardy. I'm Jennifer Bisram. I'll tell you why.
But first, a groundbreaking treatment for type 1 diabetes. That's next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, a groundbreaking treatment for type 1 diabetes is showing promising results for patients. It's a minimally invasive procedure that could mean diabetics don't have to inject themselves with insulin. Reporter Darius Johnson has more.
Here at UChicago Medicine, life-changing transplants are being conducted for type 1 diabetic patients.
This medication has a great potential to be less toxic to the patient and be more beneficial, providing better outcomes in islet transplantation.
That medication is tegoprubart, modified over the last 25 years to help bring positive results for type 1 diabetic patients who use insulin, patients like Marlena Godell.
I have so much more energy. I feel so free.
For 25 years, she has lived with type 1 diabetes.
I would go to sleep at night and think, this might be my last night. I might not wake up and see my daughter ever again.
She says her tipping point was when her daughter found her on the floor after her sugar crashed. She then talked to 3 doctors about islet cell clinical trials and got nowhere until she researched.
I emailed the University of Chicago and essentially just wrote out my entire life story and just saying, please help, I've had enough.
That was last October, and on July 17th, she went in for her procedure.
They just kind of made a very small incision and then injected the islet cells into my liver because, well, my pancreas don't work, so they injected them into the liver.
3 weeks after the procedure, she was off insulin. For that, she thanks trial co-investigator Dr. Peter Wachowski.
Her life was severely compromised, and she couldn't live like this anymore.
Looking forward to helping the other diabetics get their hope back.
3 months later, she's living a life like never before. Darius Johnson, CBS News.
It's estimated about 1.25 million Americans live with type 1 diabetes. Researchers say they're able to detect lung cancer from just a patient's breath. A new study by the American Chemical Society found a drop in a chemical called isoprene can indicate the presence of lung cancer, but to detect that, an ultra-sensitive sensor would need to be used. The findings could eventually lead to non-invasive lung cancer tests. A new nasal swab test could predict how severe COVID will be for a person. A study by Emory University found that by using nasal swabs, researchers could see which people developed COVID antibodies and which people didn't. With this test, doctors might be able to develop more effective treatments for people at risk for severe COVID. And just 5 minutes of exercise a day could lower your blood pressure. How about that? A study published by the journal Circulation found the benefit comes from raising your heart rate, whether it's from running, cycling, or climbing stairs, whatever. High blood pressure is one of the biggest causes of premature death, affecting 1.2 billion people worldwide. That is a look at today's health news. Later, keeping the bugs out of the house as the temperature drops.
Plus, we have more rain in the forecast. We're going to check that out coming up next. Well, it turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures right about where they should be for this time of the year. Highs kind of low to mid 60s. We are going to see the clouds starting to increase, but it looks pretty good right now. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex looking northeast right through downtown. Now on Thursdays, new drought tracker comes out. We had a lot of rain over the past week. So did it put a dent in the drought? Yes. Did it get rid of it? No. We went from an extreme drought to a severe drought. So it definitely helped, but you got to remember all that moisture, it's got to go down all those layers into the soil. But it's getting better, and we do have more rain in the forecast, so at least we're heading in the right direction. Outside right now, it's 60 in Neosho, 65 in Grove, 61 in Chanute, 57 in Lamar. Here's 7th. Here's Rangeline sitting at 59. Northeasterly winds, kind of light at about 5 to 10, but the winds are going to pick up a little bit as we go through the next couple days. Sliding back through the 50s into the 40s, so kind of chilly. Once again, you can see these easterly winds kind of picking up as we get into Friday. So we're going to have gusts kind of 20 upwards to 25, not windy, but definitely breezy, and it stays breezy as we go into Saturday as well. We've had sunshine all day long. Clouds increasing Kansas into Oklahoma. Here's our next storm system building out across Colorado and back through the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. And this system is going to be slowly heading toward us as we go through about the next 24 hours, giving us pretty good chances for showers, even a few thunderstorms again. Let's drop south. We have Hurricane Rafael, which is a Category 2. It made landfall in Cuba yesterday. Not a major hurricane, but a strong one, clocking winds at 105 miles per hour. So here's Rafael. He just kind of meanders his way right into the middle of the Gulf of Mexico by the time we get into Saturday, and then a lot of questions of does it just die right there? Does it get lifted up toward Louisiana? So we're going to be watching that as well. Back here at home, let's look at your rain chances. Clouds increase tonight by morning, mid-40s. Cloudy skies. Cloudy all day long. By the noon hour, our western counties getting a little bit of rain. But this is going to increase as we go through the afternoon. So by 4 p.m., showers and a few thunderstorms, nothing strong, nothing severe. Kansas and Oklahoma pressing east as we go through the evening hours. Of course, we have a lot of playoff football going on. I don't think we're going to see a lot of lightning, which is good news. Showers, few thunderstorms tomorrow night, all the way into Saturday morning. Then the rain will start to exit and we go back to sunshine, and then Saturday afternoon is looking pretty good. How much rain could we get? The heaviest is going to be on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, where a lot of areas could pick up close to an inch, maybe even isolated 2-inch amounts, and then still decently heavy on the Missouri side, half an inch upwards to an inch of rain. All right, so cloudy skies Friday, rain increasing. Showers in the morning Saturday, then the afternoon looks okay. Sunday's great. Monday, Tuesday looks good. Chances for thunderstorms again by the middle of next week. So at least the drought's looking better, but we still need rain.
No longer extreme, merely severe.
Exactly.
Wow, I guess that's movement in the right direction, sort of. Thanks, Doug. As winter approaches, a lot of us are looking for a warm, cozy place to relax, but it's not just us people who are seeking shelter. No. Unwanted bugs and rodents are on the move too, looking to move into your home possibly. We spoke to some experts in Galena, Kansas to find out how to keep these unwanted guests at bay this season.
They're also trying to store food, so typically in homes, shops, garages, things of that nature is typically where we're seeing animals try to get. And a lot of times you can do just regular maintenance on your home, just quick walk-arounds for shops, the house, if you have crawl spaces.
Wildlife experts say you should also not have leaves too close to your home. That could help stop animals like mice from congregating in that area. Look no further than Japan's famous Mount Fuji to see how record heat is changing the landscape. Snow finally fell on that picturesque peak this week. It's about a month late. Slowest snowfall in 130 years. Climate scientists say 2024 is set to be the hottest ever worldwide, shattering heat records just like last year. The torrid trends come ahead of next week's COP29 United Nations Climate Change Conference. Climate experts say severe droughts, Devastating hurricanes and relentless rain, like the floods that hit Spain last week, signal more climate chaos to come. Next week's conference is expected to focus on how to avoid more warming and how to generate trillions of dollars to help the world transition to clean energy. Coming up, today's Fed decision on interest rates and what might be next. Topping today's Consumer Watch, with inflation falling, the Federal Reserve is cutting its benchmark rate a 1/4 percentage point. But it's not clear where interest rates go from here. Jennifer Bizrom explains.
Falling interest rates are good news for car buyers who are seeing auto loan costs coming down. And people with credit card debt are also feeling a little relief from record high interest. But mortgage rates are actually on the rise, making it difficult for Mason Cunha to find an affordable home.
It just doesn't really make sense right now to buy a home with the interest rates and where they are.
Not all loans are created equal.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says mortgages are influenced more by the bond market than the Fed.
Now that the election results are in, the bond market is somewhat worried that Trump tariffs could lead to higher prices.
The president-elect has proposed a 10% tariff on goods being imported from other countries, but economists at Goldman Sachs believe that may push inflation up from 2.4% to almost 3%. And rising inflation could slow down future rate cuts. The Fed considers itself an independent agency, but on the campaign trail, Trump questioned that independence and criticized the board's most recent rate decision.
It was too big a cut, and everyone knows that was a political maneuver that they tried to do before the election, but they did the wrong thing.
Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says he will not step down if President-elect Trump asks him to resign, and says the board will closely analyze any new policies when they're officially put forward.
That's a process that takes a lot of time and that we go through all the time with every administration, constantly. And this will be no different.
The Fed meets again in December. New data in the coming weeks on inflation, spending, and employment will influence its next rate decision. Jennifer Bisram, CBS News, New York.
President-elect Trump's win not only sent Wall Street stocks soaring, but it also gave a massive boost to Bitcoin. The cryptocurrency briefly topped more than $75,000, a new record, though it ended the day dipping to about $73,000. Trump pledged to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the planet during his campaign. Stellantis says it plans to lay off more than 1,000 workers indefinitely at a Toledo, Ohio Jeep plant, saying the actions are, quote, necessary to enable the company to regain its competitive edge. The layoffs are expected to take place as soon as January. The news comes about a year after a 6-week auto workers strike brought dozens of big three automaker plants to a halt across 20 states. And a taste of the holidays is returning to Haagen-Dazs shops all around our country. Starting November 15th, the frozen treat chain is bringing back its peppermint bark flavored ice cream milkshake and Dazzler. Yum, yum. The new menu item will be available through the end of January. So goodbye pumpkin spice, I guess. A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, what we know about the likely key players in the next administration. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear from that local flight paramedic receiving national recognition for heroism, plus the business competition that brought hundreds of high school students from all across the area to Missouri Southern. And Jasper Volleyball leaves for the state tournament. We're going to show you the send-off. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. A bit cool out there, but seasonably so. Pretty nice day to be outside, Doug.
And it's going to be a nice evening. We are going to see the clouds increasing tonight, and most of the day on your Friday is just cloudy, but showers and a few thunderstorms increasing late in the day into the evening hours. We'll have to watch that with high school football. Thankfully, nothing strong or severe.
Well, that's good news. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we're going to be right back here at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.